This room right here is where I started my business that has done over $450 million on Amazon. We started very small right when I got out of college in 2013, and this is what I was doing with my brother. As you see from these things behind me, there's a lot of little things that we did to make sure that we could prep products efficiently and get them into Amazon. We eventually scaled this to over 100 employees, and we were shipping in thousands of products every single day into Amazon. For a little while, we were selling a product every 2 to 3 seconds. So what are the things that you should be thinking about when building a prep center? So back here, we have a metal table. We used plastic tables. The metal ones are just a little bit more sturdy. You can get more work done if you're standing. And then as you see, this metal table has 2 tiers. We could put boxes, bags, prep supplies. You want everything close to you as you're prepping. And then look at this monitor. We had our computer and keyboard above the table so that we could maximize what we were doing. Of course, you gotta have a scanner, you have a printer. These are all the core things that make up a good prep station. A single person can do anywhere from 500 to 1,000 units a day. It just depends on how much individual prep is needed, whether you're just bagging it or you're doing bubble wrap, if you have to tape stuff. This all adds up and takes a lot of time. Hopefully all you're doing is labeling. So should you build your own prep center? That's a great question. I think there are a lot of successful businesses today that you don't need to anymore. There's a lot of quality prep centers around the nation. You don't have to go very far in Google to find some. But if you're gonna consider one, I'd try and get them on the phone to make sure that you're talking to a real person that knows how to handle Amazon prep. And before you even need to consider getting a warehouse, a garage works a lot. There are 7-figure sellers that still work out of the garage. It can depend on the product that you sell and the efficiency that you want to grow into. I also have an opinion that you should try to always work with less space than you think you need. It can get very expensive if you sign a multi-year lease for a bigger space that you think you're gonna grow into immediately. That's a mistake that sometimes bit us in the butt as we were growing. Ultimately, we always used the space that we had, but you wanna stay in that creative space where you start looking up, you start building stuff high up to make better use of the space. And that way you're not spending a lot of your money on a warehouse. Why have your own warehouse versus a prep center? I'm gonna give you some advantages to both. So the advantages of your own warehouse, you have great control over things, and maybe it can be a little bit more affordable per unit. The challenge of your own warehouse is you have to do it. You have to oversee the labor. If someone doesn't show up to work, that's on you. And then if you actually do have employees, you have to keep them busy. That's why I really do favor having a prep center for a lot of people that want the most set it and forget it, because then you only buy the most profitable products. You're not forced to keep people busy and buy those mediocre products. Just make sure you're making an informed decision and you're taking baby steps to growing. I think it's worth it to have a prep center as a backup, but then it's also worth it to prep some of the products yourself. Let's say you have a son or a daughter that's a teenager that you want to give them a little bit of work. A lot of situations make it worth to prep yourself. And if you want to use a tool that is great for starting out and researching the right brands to work with, or if you want to spy on your competition, you can use coupon code SMART2024 and you'll get 25% off your first few months. Thanks everyone, like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.